think fairly shortly, Mr. Assange has arrived about 20 minutes ago to great press attention, as you can imagine. And he will be appearing in court in a few minutes' time. It will take a bit of time for the judge to go over the evidence, but we expect a decision shortly now.
Tim, thanks a lot for that. Thanks for keeping us up to speed as to the latest developments on that hearing. Tim Friend there in London. Now, Indonesian cleric Abu Bakar Bashir has denied he helped set up, fund and arm a new terror cell in the country's west. The 72-year-old imam told judges at the South Jakarta District Court he was the victim of a U.S. conspiracy. Prosecutors say the cell was planning attacks on foreigners in the Indonesian capital and the assassination of the president. Bashir is seen as the leader of the banned Jamaah Islamiyah movement, which seeks to establish a Muslim caliphate across Southeast Asia. Now, in Yemen, a pro-independence march in the south turned deadly after an activist was killed by a landmine. The incident took place in Laudar in the southern Abyan province. Well, the region is a stronghold of the secessionist movement. Well, let's catch up with the latest weather with Kevin.
We are. And actually, this is a weather-related phenomenon. We are looking at the last launch of the Space Shuttle Discovery. Take a look at some video. This is some archived video of the launch of the Space Shuttle years ago. This first launched in 1984. It's going to be her 39th mission today as it takes off. It has been the most flown shuttle in history, and it is expecting to launch at about 21:30 GMT. And after its 11-day mission, we expect to see this shuttle go to the Smithsonian Institute. Let's take a look at weather.
As the fog hangs warily over London, we can always offer you the perfect pick-me-up.
Well, let's take a look at what's happening down in Florida. This is where the space shuttle is going to be launching from. They have an 80% chance of a go today. That's, like I said, about 21:30 GMT. That's going to be the afternoon time of Florida. But good thing it's launching today, because tomorrow we have a severe front coming through. You can see right here all the weather that's pushing through right there. We could possibly be seeing some hail, some strong winds, as well as some tornadic activity. Then up to the north, we're going to be seeing some very heavy snow as well as rain for Boston, New York, as well as into parts of Washington, D.C. Let's take a look at what's also happening down towards the south, particularly into Bolivia as well as into Peru. We are looking at states of emergency right now because of the excessive flooding we have been seeing over the last week or so. We are looking at 70,000 people displaced in Bolivia. We are looking at 3,500 people displaced in Peru, with 15 bridges out. The forecast, unfortunately, does not look that good. We are seeing more rain in the forecast, and this is going to be all through the weekend. Very quickly over towards Europe, we are looking at some very messy weather across the central part of the Mediterranean. This has brought some very heavy rain showers to Italy. It is now moving towards Greece, Turkey as well. About 100 to 150 millimeters of rain is still in the forecast.
Qatar Airways, world's 5-star airline.
Well, as the turmoil in Libya continues, thousands of migrant workers are leaving the country. And that exodus is the focus of a meeting of European ministers. We'll be live in Rome after the break. And Muammar Gaddafi has long considered himself the father of Pan-Africanism. But how will the events in Libya affect the country's relationship with its neighbors? Stay with Al Jazeera.
It is in the details, a look, a connection, the moments that reveal the truth. Witness documentaries to open your eyes on Al Jazeera.
If you're a Nokia user, you can download Al Jazeera's news widget from Nokia's Ovis store. The news widget, available on compatible Nokia devices, gives users quick and easy access to real-time news updates from Al Jazeera English. See the world in real time. Al Jazeera Mobile.
Afghanistan is faced with a huge challenge.
Relations have gone really sour between us and our allies.
We have inflicted considerable damage on the enemy.
The people who make international headlines.
Ultimately, the truth will out.
They want to stop this publication of information that embarrasses them.
Make time for Sir David Frost. Frost over the world. At this time on Al Jazeera.
You're watching Al Jazeera. A reminder of our top story. Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi appears to be losing control of territory in his country. Protesters are reported to have taken control of towns as far west as Misrata, around 120 kilometers from the capital, Tripoli. US President Barack Obama says the US is looking at a full range of options on how to deal with the crisis. He's repeated his message to Gaddafi that the violence must stop. Governments continue to evacuate their citizens from Libya amidst the growing unrest. European Union ministers are meeting in Brussels to discuss how to deal with an influx of immigrants from the North Africa region. Well, the unrest in Libya has raised fears of the waves of hundreds of thousands of migrants heading towards European shores. Well, the fear is that Libya could act as a gateway for migrants from sub-Saharan Africa to come to Europe. Italy, which in recent years has seen a huge influx of migrants from Libya itself, is particularly worried about the unrest and that it could result from more arrivals there. Malta, Greece, Cyprus, France and Spain are also concerned about illegal immigration. An emergency meeting to tackle that issue is taking place right now in Rome. That's where Harry Smith joins us from. Harry, it's at the nexus of their fears, isn't it? Any unrest and instability and its effects on immigration with people from Libya itself, or Libya just as a transit route into Europe. Help us understand those fears.
Well, there is obviously great concern in Italy because they know firsthand what it means. They've had a huge influx of immigrants from Tunisia when there was unrest there. What they now fear is an even bigger influx of immigrants from Libya, if and when, but they are still talking about if Colonel Gaddafi's regime falls. And remember, there are close ties. There's a large Libyan community in Rome, where I am at the moment, and there is close ties. So it's likely that Italy will be the first country to see this. But of course, what they've done is that they've brought together all the countries with Mediterranean borders, and they're now going to the 27 countries of the European Union in Brussels today to say, look, we can't handle this on our own. We need some help. They want some sort of solidarity fund. They want some sort of agreement whereby if there is a big influx, and you're right, what they do largely fear is this large number of sub-Saharan Africans who owe no loyalty to Libya, suddenly using the instability in that country to try and come into Europe. And that's a big problem, not just for Italy, not just for the countries with a Mediterranean border, but for all the countries of Europe, which is why